It's the time for the package from China. Let's go. Hey, welcome back to the channel. It's awesome that you're tuning in, because in this video it's time for another package from China, but this is going to be like slightly different. There is no fancy package, nope, but we do have like the toilet paper manual like always, and what we're going to get are just two wrapped or bubble wrapped. We're going to unwrap the bubble wrap, if I know how to get it loose. There we go. And the thing is, like, we have like found another like budget handheld. So when it comes to these budget devices, sometimes you will be surprised how good or how bad they are. Okay, so this is like the deluxe version, and that also came with, of course, the toilet paper manual. Let's see if there is any English. Yeah, there is. So basic explanations, not a lot of information you can use in the end. But what it can do, this thing can be plugged into your television, but also with the AV out cable. There's no HDMI support. Some of these like cheaper devices does have it, but with a budget device, I mean like $15 to up to $25, it's going to be like challenging to find one. Micro USB for basically charging the device. It comes with an extra controller. I think it's pretty damn cool. So you can plug in the handheld in your television and can actually use it like a game system, more like a 2-in-1. And I already mentioned some of them have like the option for HDMI. So the reason I wanted to pick it up, like some people in my community contacted me, asking me to review this. But I must say, like, the configuration of the buttons, I personally really like it over here. We have like the 6 buttons, like fight pad look alike. So there's something you don't see very often. Most of them are like having 4 at the front and shoulder buttons, but you would almost say like there are shoulder buttons, but there aren't. Like you can see, like it is a mold, like that's it. There is nothing else. So underneath we will find the battery. It's the all famous BL5C, 12 milliamp. Depending, like I think you can find a couple of different versions. I think there is nothing bigger than 1200 milliamp. Let me know in the comments if I'm having it wrong. But basically this is like the old school battery of the Nokia. What is convenient, you can charge them. It will give you a couple of hours like playtime. Exactly how long I can tell you, simply because yeah, there's a little bit of a mix. Like you can, when you're reading on the page, it says a certain amount, but what do you know what I even find like more interesting with this? Then we have like the option to add one single AA battery. That is an option I've personally never seen before, but of course this is more convenient, simply because you can recharge it. So here we have like the SD card. Okay, there's something you need to know. So this thing comes with a 4 GB. I don't know if they're going to be like different ones. You should like backup this. Sometimes you would have like a part of the firmware is on this backup because they're using really crappy SD cards. And if it's going to get broken or corrupted, because that chance is very high with this, you have a problem and your system won't boot up. So they made the decision not to implement a D-pad. So we do have like the system rock or joystick. So I must say, like, there's a little bit of wobbly, same like the PSP, only way cheaper. You can see like there is a little bit of tilting going on, not very convenient. They have like all the navigation buttons, select, start, and I think there was the home button. So here, like having the A, B, X, or Y, and L and R, basically they replace the shoulder buttons and put them over here. So when you're looking at it, I like a little bit tiny buttons. I'm not the biggest fan of it, like the same like the Nintendo Switch. They feel okay, they're not like very long traveled, they feel kind of smushy when it comes to membranes. The audio is pretty damn bad, and I mean, there is an audio delay in the main emulator, so also that's the first thing they messed up. And that is what it is with these things, like a hit or miss. Oh man, horrible. Let's lower the volume. Alright, that's my bad. But you can see like there is a lot of problems going on with the emulation performance. Is it still playable? That is of course something you should decide for yourself. But again, like the analog stick doesn't make it any better. It's absolutely horrible. I'm missing out on a good joystick, or at least a D-pad. So it's quite unfortunate if you ask me. We do have like a quick load, quick save. So pressing the home button, you will get just this quick menu that's only popping up when playing actually a game. You can make a quick load, quick save over here. It's highly possible if you're going to play some, let's say, games that does have like a support for save function, that it doesn't work, that you need to use it like this way. Or you just use it like the quick load, quick save in here. A little bit messy. So another problem I've noticed, sometimes if there is even a file on it, you will see like everything is not in English. It's absolutely a nightmare. So even if it comes with some files, doesn't matter what, homebrew games, it is absolutely a garbage. Yeah, it's not like you want to receive anything. So next up, let's try some Sega Mega Drive. And I must say, look, when you're having a lot of devices nowadays that runs it perfectly, the overall performance is not bad at all for a cheap device like this. Another thing I wanted to try out just to see how it runs with Game Boy Advance. I don't see any like weird thing going on with the audio now. So you can see like it's a problem when it comes to insert an emulator. And again, like there's no way of changing that out. So that's a little bit of a bummer with these cheap devices. If you look closely, you will see a shitload of screen tearing sometimes. But when it comes to games like this, it's still playable. And again, like save functionality, you need to put the rest at home and make a save file over here. A great test for the analog stick. I'm messing it up myself. I can tell you, like, playing it not on the D-pad is really challenging. Absolutely. I suck at this game, but beside that, if you're going to be very careful, this game is playable, but you do have like a lot of problems, at least like moving around on this. So that is just a great pointer that this analog stick is pretty damn rubbish. Okay, so another system that is most of the time like completely messed up is Super NES. Somehow they can't manage to get it right on these cheap devices. It sounds not bad at first, but I can tell you when you hear some soundtracks from the beginning, it sounds completely messed up. But still, some games are still like playable in some way. Alright, so the next thing that we're going to do is basically plug this thing into the television. Just want to give you like the console vibe for this thing. So when plugging it in, nothing seems to be happening, and I was expecting this simply because when you're looking at the menu, I already stated that you basically need to set it up. So the next thing that we do hear already some audio, so that's quite interesting. Okay, so let's get into the settings over here. I already shown you before that you need to set it to the LCD, or better said, you need to set it to a different output. We have the NTSC model over here, or the option. Here we have like now an image on the screen. Now we need to go back. Another thing I wanted to check out, like how this thing will work. Everything is messed up, by the way, when it comes to the screen now. There's no like beautiful background. Plug in the actual controller. And the signal goes out, and that is not like it's supposed to do normally, but it happens. So let's reboot it again and let's try the system and let's see if we can get it to work when everything is plugged in. The weird thing is, like when I'm going to plug in the controller, somehow it messes up with the AV out signal. So nothing seems to be working anymore. Let's plug it back in. And there we go. So when you're going to plug in the controller, somehow it completely like stops working. So I'll show you again. Ah, there we go. All right, great. So I don't know what happened the first time. So let's go to the menu and let's boot up a game. And let's see if the two-player actually works. It's kind of funny that we do have like the audio from the handheld, but also from the television at the moment. So let's put a credit in. Okay, that seems to be working. Let's try the controller now. Let's press start. And it does recognize the system and the controls. Can already hear like the music is completely messed up. That's the reason why I play so many times the freaking same game, because I can dream the soundtracks. I can tell you now that absolutely not like it's supposed to be. But actually, I'm surprised that it seems to be working. It's kind of funny that we do have like a D-pad on the freaking controller. So this is basically the idea behind it, that we can just play the game together on the television. I think it's pretty ingenious, even for the couple of dollars you're paying for this. But it did have like some problems when it comes to plugging a controller and the AV out at the same time. I must say, construction wise, it's what to expect from the money. But when you're looking at how comfortable it is, I must say I was quite surprised with this thing. What I find very surprising, that we do have like a very nice looking shell. This thing is quite comfortable, especially when you're looking at everything, the way how it looks, and also the grips itself. There is even some pattern over here, not like the very like rubberized bullshit. This is absolutely like very nice plastic, very hard plastic. It doesn't even smell chemical, but it will give you some extra grip and make it more comfortable to play. Not everybody will love this sick button configuration, that is more like a personal thing. Beside the shitty emulation, I'm missing out my D-pad. Yep, I'm more like a D-pad gamer, and with this horrible, let's say, analog stick, nah. It makes this thing absolutely a complete waste in my opinion. In the jungle of handhelds, there is so much stuff that we can buy for money. And like if you're going to pay, let's say maybe $10, $15 more, you're going to get yourself like a brand when it comes to a Mio Mini or something else, for example, that has like way better options. If it's more comfortable, that is something of a personal thing. I want to thank you all for watching. Consider subscribing. Let me know in the comments what you think of this. And it would be great to see you in the next video. Yeah.